Hello and welcome to another YouTube video where I help you live and work with intention while prioritizing your mental health. In today's video, I will use Notion to show you how to create a gratitude journal as well as a jar of awesome. These are two things that I do in my journaling routine, and if you want to just download the template, you can check the description down below. But for now, I will show you how to build this straight in Notion, so make sure you have an account and let's get right to it. Alright, so I have a blank Notion page and I will just call this gratitude and jar of awesome. And in here we will just create the table that includes both the gratitude journaling as well as the jar of awesome entries. So I will have an inline table inline, and let's go with journal entries. And so what I typically start with is I have one of these columns be a created date. And this is easy for us because anytime you create a new entry, it will automatically assign the date as well as the time that you created this entry. So you don't have to manually input it. So I will change this tag to entry date. And let's get that into created time. So as you can see, these were all created at around 3:36 p.m. And anytime I create a new entry, it will create a new one. So let's just remove all of this right now, and let's move this to the left. Now for this one, which is the primary key for our gratitude entry or the jar of awesome entry. So what am I grateful for? What was awesome? All right, and now we have the entry where we input what we're grateful for or what was awesome for the day. And now because I have this table as both to hold gratitude journal entries and the jar of awesome entries, I will create a select column so that we can determine which one is a gratitude entry, which one is a jar of awesome entry. So I'll do that right now. We'll create a select, and then we'll call this category. Simple as that. Let's expand this to full width. So what I just did, I just expanded the page to a full width so we can see the whole table with all the columns. So next I will add a tag multi-select, and this is great for just adding tags for just as a quick summary of what this entry is all about. We can add multiple things that helps us categorize these entries. And lastly, I like to add a column where I can type how I felt when I entered this entry. Obviously, I'm feeling grateful, but there's more to that. So I will be able to log exactly how I feel right when I created this entry. All right, and those are all of our columns. Very simple. There are a few more things that I like to add, and I will show you a quick example of when I enter an entry. We will add the category and we will have multiple views of this data. So let's get right to it. All right, so let's create an entry. As you can see, the entry date was automatically populated. And let's say, what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful for my cup of coffee. All right. This is a gratitude journaling, so I will say gratitude. Let's make that green. I love coffee, so let's just add coffee as a tag and determined, because typically coffee helps me get ready for the day, energized, and I'm really focused. So determined and focused are the two things I really feel today. Determined, focused. All right, and let's do one jar of awesome just to log one of the wins. So today I finished my newsletter for the week, so I will log that as a small win. Completed newsletter early this week. Jar of awesome. Enter. Let's make that orange. All right, and that is our second category. And let's say productive. Another tag, we can say just business. All right, and how am I feeling today? Fulfilled. I really enjoy sharing my newsletter with a bunch of my subscribers, and grateful. I really appreciate being able to share what I've learned and share my experiences to a bunch of people who read my newsletters. So I always feel grateful and I appreciate everyone that reads my newsletter. So I will add that as how I feel today. And I'm done. So great. Now that we've completed 2 entries, I want to show you different types of views, and I think this will be very useful when you have a large number of entries. Every day, if you do this regularly, you do gratitude journaling, you enter all of your wins into the jar of awesome, you'll have a ton of entries, and seeing it on a table is great, but I think there's a few ways you can visualize all of this data. So the first way is through a calendar view, and that's a simple one, partly because if you want to see it in a month or in a week or anything like that, see what you're grateful for, see all of the wins that you have, especially when you're having a tough day. Seeing the past entries can really help you, and there is a lot to be grateful for. So the monthly view is just a great way to see it based on the date. So let's create that right now. So you can add a view here, and let's just say calendar view. And let's go to calendar, create. And you can see here, I got the 2 entries. And so if there were entries before or there are entries later on in the previous months, you will see all the entries based on the date that you created it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a quick properties check right here. Let's enable category and let's enable how I'm feeling in tags. I think this is a great way to really see what you've been grateful for, what were the wins you had, big or small. And that point of view is really great, especially when you feel like nothing good has happened over the past few days. Now let's look at another view that I also find that is very helpful, and is through the categories view. And this is where you can see how often you felt like you were productive, how often were you grateful for something like coffee or different things based on your tags. So let's create a board view and we'll group it by all of the tags that you've created. Grouped by tags. All right, and so automatically it groups by the category of the entry, but we can change that in the group by and change it to tags. For example, for someone who's very ambitious, every time I feel like I don't do enough for the week or for the month, I can actually see if I've entered enough entries for the jar of awesome in the productivity tag or in the business tag. And this will give me a realistic lens of how much I've actually done. To go even further, you can even filter out this view based on entries within the past week or the past month. In here, it won't really show because I don't have that much data, but this is something very useful if you want to see a more filtered out result. All right, and that is it for now. If you enjoyed this gratitude and jar of awesome table, let me know down in the comments. This is something that really has helped me, and I hope it helps you as well. Again, if you just want to download the Notion template, feel free to check the description down below and duplicate it into your own workspace. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.